The Digitech Drop Pedal. Is it good for drop tuning or not? Let's find out. Hi, welcome back to Brooks's Bass Corner. Today I've got the Digitech Drop Pedal, which allows you to play a bass line in any key and then drop the tuning of that bass line by anything between 1 semitone and 8 semitones. The neat function is that if you select 8 semitones, you then have an octave effect. It's the same as an octaver. The only problem is you have no control over the parameters of that octave effect. So as you can see, it comes in a very striking red, white and black compact box from Digitech. And so opening this up, so this is a brand new one. I haven't used this. This has literally come in the post and you're seeing it for the first time. I haven't used it because the one that I have on my pedal board stays on my pedal board, but I needed a spare. So this is a brand new one. So as you will see, it comes a little cellophane wrapper. On there aren't many controls. So you've got an input, 1/4 inch input, 1/4 inch output, a fairly sturdy stomp button. Get it out of the bag, you can see it a little clearly. Then you've got the on-off LED is there. You then have the 8 semitone LEDs here. The final one is octave and dry, which means you get the octave signal, so 8 semitones dropped, and you get your normal dry bass signal, which gives you the octaver effect, similar to devices by Boss, EBS, MXR, pick your effect manufacturer of choice. So that's your indicator LEDs there. You've then got a toggle switch here which says off and on. So in the off position, when you turn the pedal on, it stays on. If you have that switch up, when you depress the selector switch, you have to keep your foot on it. But as you take your foot off, the effect stops. Then you've got this fairly sturdy black dial that drops you down the semitone increments. And on the back is the power supply. You can't run this pedal on a battery. It has to be with an adapter. Thankfully, Digitech supply an adapter, but I've found I can use it with one-spot devices. So here we have the charger in its own box. It's fairly standard affair. It has these slide-on adapters. Inside the box, we have the warranty card, and then you have safety instructions. You shouldn't really need a manual, it's fairly obvious, but if you go to the Digitech site, there is a manual there. And that's it, that's what's in the box. This video, I'll show you why some people have an issue with this pedal, certainly on bass. With guitar and keyboards, because they're at higher frequencies, the tracking works a lot better. On bass, you're dealing with much different frequencies and harmonics. So over the next couple of minutes you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So let's get down to business. I've had this pedal on my pedal board for 5 years now. It's 2024. I first started using it in 2019. I now don't do any gigs without this pedal. If I'd had it 25 years ago, I could have saved myself a whole load of grief. I could have used any of my basses without any truss rod issues or bridge changes in order to get the strings high enough as you take the tension off the strings to get to the lower tunings. This is a godsend. So if you're wondering, why does he want it 25 years ago? So back in like the 90s, early 2000s, I played in a lot of bands that had different tunings. So general covers bands might tune semitone down or a tone down to save singers' voices, so they're not pushing themselves singing things in concert pitch, which was fine. All the basses I used were fine with semitone down tuning. But the problem is, if you work in a number of different bands, or you might have a busy weekend of shows, maybe you're doing 3, 4, 5 gigs, maybe more. If all those bands play in different tunings, as you retune your bass to those tunings for those bands, the neck on quite a few wooden necked instruments will start to get a little temperamental. You can increase your string gauge, but then that might make your bass more uncomfortable to play. But what I found was, as I used different basses for different bands, some of the instruments would take drop tuning a lot better than others, but wooden necked instruments just didn't like it, certainly not in the summer months when it's really hot, and not in the middle of winter when it's cold. So you would start to find neck shifting, moving around, your action going up and down, neck buzzing. Had I had this, I wouldn't have had to have done that. I could have literally just, if I had a concert tuned bass and I was playing in a band that was semitone down or a tone down, I could just set it to 1 for a semitone down or 2 for a whole tone down, and the problem would have been resolved. I wouldn't have had to change how I played the songs, rework out transposition, what am I transposing my line into what key. Could have just done it all on this. Now obviously this only goes down, it doesn't go up. So if you play a song in C, for example, you can't use this to transpose it up a tone if you were playing in D, or 2 tones if you were playing in E. You can only go down, and you may find on some songs that's not going to work. So I hope you found that useful. As you probably heard, from about 1 semitone down to 4 semitones down, it works really well. But from 5 to 8, the tracking and the latency significantly drops off, and it changes from bass to bass as well. Also, depending on which pickup you prefer, whether you use your bridge pickup more than your neck pickup, that can have a significant effect. And also, if you have onboard EQ on your bass, that can significantly affect how the bottom notes track. So it's not unlike an octave pedal, and we all know octave pedals differ from manufacturer to manufacturer. The tracking on one might not be as good as another. All of those issues come into play with this pedal. But, and it's a big but, for the sake of being able to drop your tuning down from 1 to 4 semitones on the fly, so if you work in a covers band or in a pub band or a club band, maybe rocky where you have different singers coming in and out of the band, or if you work in a band that has multiple singers, maybe if you use depths regularly, you're going to find this pedal really useful. Because if a singer turns up and say you play a song like, let's pick one out of the ether, Sweet Home Alabama is in D, maybe the person who's singing it might have a vocal issue, or they might have a cold, sore throat, or maybe they just sing it in a different key. So for example, if they were going to sing it in C, you haven't got to learn to play it in C. You can just select 2 semitones down on this pedal and away you go. It's as simple as that. So as long as someone isn't jumping wildly, like if a song was in D and they're suddenly going to sing it in F sharp, that would probably, this isn't going to help you that much, because the tracking's going to be kind of out and you'll hear it. It's just going to become a rumble and a mush. But for anything where you might be dropping down between 1 and 4 semitones, this pedal is worth its weight in gold. Regarding the octaver effect, I do use this with another octave pedal on my board. So for some songs, and in one of the bands I play in, I use this on setting 3, where I'm 3 semitones down. In that song, there is a section where I use an octave pedal for a higher line. I can't be switching settings on the fly while we're playing. So I use this for doing the 3 semitone drop, and then I use a separate octave pedal for the octave effect, and that works okay. Also, the difference in sound of the octaver effect with other manufacturers' octave pedals is quite significant, and I actually like having the choice of 2 on a gig. Some songs need a real throaty, guttural, like hammer of an octave effect. This doesn't necessarily do that, but it has like a more higher mid, throaty, kind of almost like an airy octave effect, rather than something that's going to bring walls down. If you got any comments about what I've said in this video, then please leave them in the comments section below. You'll find affiliate links for multiple retailers, so if you want to buy this pedal, you can use the affiliate links. They're in the description box below. If you've enjoyed the video, please hit the subscribe button below. Please give the video a thumbs up, and also hit the notification bell so you get notifications when I post up new videos. On that note, I hope you found this video useful. If you got any questions, comments, anything you want to ask me, leave it in the comments section below. I'll come back to you as soon as I can. See you on the next video. Take it easy.